Good morning, all. My name is Rajendra Babu, working as a faculty member in the Department of Library and Information Science, Tumakuru University, Tumakuru. I'm here to talk to you on passionate librarianship because we have been seeing the librarianship at the doldrums. So, I'm talking on passionate librarianship where we see a lot of people talk either good or ill about librarianship, and we know the value of librarianship and the value of helping the users with the information need, and we gain the satisfaction by doing so. In this presentation I'm going to talk on few aspects of passionate librarianship. Then in the agenda, I will be talking about library profession and professionals in a nutshell, because library profession is one of the noble professions along with medicine and teaching, as sometimes we are called as librarians, are called as teachers of teachers, because we help people in getting their information. Sometimes we will be walking one step ahead than the user community, because we are the ones who are clear idea, who have a clear idea about the information sources and surrogates of information sources. Surrogates means the sources of information sources and where the information will be, we will be getting for the user community. So that's why we call ourselves as teachers of teachers in a true sense. And this profession is all about serving, because once the man finishes the need for food and shelter, the next need for him is going to be the knowledge, and gaining the knowledge and helping others using that knowledge. So we are the community, we are helping the users or community to gain knowledge, to help themselves. So in a way we are also part of nation building job, as the way teachers and others build the nation in the form of creating the young generation and workable generation. We also help teachers as well as students, everybody, in getting their information. So in a nutshell, we are also teachers of teachers, and we are in the process of nation building. Then we'll see what are the foundations for these professions, what is profession of librarianship, what is happening, what is there, and what are all the things we do, what are all the things we support our user community. And the meat of the subject is passion. So we are doing this without even expecting a thanks from the people. So for that we should be highly motivated to do our jobs. And users are today coming with varied requirements, so cater to those requirements is going to be the biggest challenge for us, and we are here to do that with a lot of enthusiasm and passion to be driven, because we should know the subject first, or we should know the information first to help the users better. Then if at all we have some gaps in our passion areas, so how to fill those gaps is going is what I'm going to discuss. Then we will also discuss, if time permits, experiences of passionate librarianship, because we have seen a lot of librarians like our Melville Devi, CA Cutter, our own Dr. S.R. Ranganathan. Nobody came and tapped on their back to do their jobs. They are the ones who have internally motivated to do their jobs, and how they are done we will discuss about that, and my talk will be concluded at the end. So here we can see Deloitte is a consulting organization worldwide. They are tax consultants, they are management consultants, every consultancy areas they are dealing with. They have come out with a study. Out of that, the study has been conducted in US workforce in the year 2018-19. So they are out of 88, out of the 100 participants, 88% of American workforce are not happy with their jobs. They're not happy with their jobs. In clear terms, not having the passion to do their work. So because once you like a job, you will be able to do better. So that is part of passion. So 88% of people are doing the job just because of the purpose of doing it, not passionately doing it. Only 12% are passionate doing their work in their workplace. So similarly, if you take the scenario in India, The numbers may be little varied because American workforce is different, their culture is different, sociological aspects are different. So this is one thing which prompted me in this aspect to talk about passionate librarianship. So what is passionate librarianship? So we have here, the picture depicts clearly the overall economy of the world. Within that, we have three, categorization. One is globalization of culture itself, because whatever culture, somebody else is practicing, we are also, emulating them, forgetting our culture. That is one culture. Or work culture, work ethics, all that are being changed because of the globalization. Then globalization of information. So whatever information we are producing here is because of the internet, it is ready for anybody to access. So globalization of information is also, playing a very big role. And the invention of internet in the year 1993 has opened the world of possibilities for us. So that is the beginning for globalization of culture, globalization of information, and the process called doubling of information production, information overpopulation, speed in production of information and dissemination of information. At the same time, contamination of information also is happening because of internet. Of course, 99% good is there, means if 1% bad will always be associated with it. So the whole things are creating a digital divide. Means digital divide means the gap between haves and have-nots. Means information haves, information have-nots. Digitization digital haves, digital not haves. For example, if you take America and Africa in comparison, America has better access to healthcare, information, better lifestyle, everything. So they are haves. Whereas Africa, all the diseases are originated out of Africa, and a lot of problems are associated with Africa. And poverty is the major poverty, drugs and terrorism are the major issues faced by Africa. There they are dividing. That is called digital divide. Here it's only in the form of information and digital activities the divide is happening. Then we live in a very liminal time where we have seen yet lot of unseen repercussions. We are in a very good times, but a lot of unseen repercussions in digital divide. Though the world is having, we are moving towards a lot of new things. We have gone to all the places in the universe. Still within us there is a lot of divide. The divide may be cultural, the divide may be information, divide may be information haves and have nots, all that. Then second aspect is global economies are shifting from global to regional and regional to global, because the economies are, if any, we are depending on completely oil from Gulf regions. If any small mistake happens or small hiccup happens in Gulf, we are we are facing the repercussions of price rise, or price rise of oil, price rise of everyday needs, all that. Then so this profession, we call Ranganathan as the father of public library movement in India. And before Ranganathan, there were thousands of libraries existed, thousands of librarians were there. Similarly, worldwide librarians are there. We have seen 1832, 30 to 42, we have cataloging first code coming by Anthony Panizzi. Then dictionary catalog by C.A. Cutter, and DDC in 1876 by Melville D.V. Ranganathan's works on CCC, and 5 laws of library science, all that. These are all making us a platform, given as a platform for us to learn to help our customers. Then passion is the only driver for everything. So how to make a difference in your work? All of us work, and all of us work for our salaries, for our organizations. 90% of work we may work for our daily needs, 10% we may work for our passion. So many people, sometimes people may work for 90% passion and 10% for daily needs. The priorities changes among people. So this is a picture, gives information industry market overview. Recently, there was a webinar organized by LIS Academy Mr. N.V. Satyanarayana, who is the CMD of Informatics India Limited, he was talking about now global information industry market share. It is a $987 million, almost a trillion, $987 billion market, almost a $1 trillion market. Out of that, 987 trillion billion dollars information industry market, almost like 98.5% the global information industry takes care of. Only 29 or 1.2 point change percent or $29 billion is library centric information services. So we have two types of information services: library centric information, non-library centric information. Library centric information, I can say, like reference service, books issue, books borrowing, referral works, all that is a library centric information services, pure library services. IT based library services or IT enabled library services, or I can say non-IT centric library information services. So in these, only 2% or 2.5% of the whole market is covered by library centric information services. This is the information taken from Information Industry Outlook, which has been published in 2018. So you may get a job based on your qualifications, or you might have got a job, you might have got a job, education from the best library and information schools. I'm talking about only library and information service professionals, and we may get education from best library schools or best universities. And we may have varied experience, global experience, local experience, working with varied teams, working with various people. We may get experience, but passion can only one aspect which makes the difference between us and others. For example, we had many presidents of India, at least 15 plus presidents of India, who have taken charge of India after the independence. But why we remember mostly Abdul Kalam? Because he is the one who has made a difference with a passion. Because he used to go to students, he used to go to everyone, he used to guide lectures, he used to guide people. In 2013, we have conducted an international conference. Out of for that conference, we thought of bringing Abdul Kalam. So we approached his office, president's office. They said his calendar is full for next 6 years. Next 6 years, 2013 to 2019, it was full. But he passed away in between. That's a different issue. Such a man, such a needed resource person worldwide. So that is what a passion for me, to just quote an example. So what is passion? Basically, passion is internal in nature. It's not external in nature. You cannot see it. It is inside feeling, along with you can say ethics. Ethics is something what you believe in, values and foundational principles. Doing good, do's and don'ts, not to do all these things are the foundational principles which which are considered along with passion as the internal factors of a human being. So it is a self-driven, passion is a self-driven, and you don't need anybody to come and pat onto your back. You yourself can derive insight, and it's a result of continuous reading, thinking, liking for the profession, whatever you do, whatever job you do. World today is going through a lot of doldrums today, but people are really, yesterday janitors, means municipality workers, were not really, greatly considered. Today, amidst the COVID time, they are called as the COVID warriors. They are the lifesavers for us. So no job is inferior. You should like the job what you are doing, and that by doing the helping the needy, or they are internally principled, and they are internally thinking a lot, and they are the thought leaders and they are transformation leaders. So they are not only thinking, they are adopting that thinking to their lives, and so that others can emulate them. That is what transformational leadership is all about. Then there is a we have a quotation, famous quotation, like success breeds success. Similarly, passion breeds passion, and it motivates internally. You don't need anybody to come and pat onto your back. You can motivate yourself by being passionate, and it helps intensifying focus. You have a focus, but it gives the seriousness to the focus. And focus is something you are thinking only that aspect, you are not thinking anything else. To do that work, you are focusing. By focusing, it enables creativity and innovation inside you. You start thinking creative, because you have to help people, you have to support people, you have to suggest people, you have to come out with a new creative ways and innovative ways. And it increases the contribution to work. Whatever work you are doing, if you are doing normally and passionately, passion brings a lot of contribution to the work. A lot of people can gain out of it. So it also brings energy at work. If you are motivated, if you are energetic inside, if you have passion for the job, you don't need anybody to come and motivate you. You internally motivate yourself. And once you motivate and once you are passionate, the work which you are doing makes you feel more satisfied. And whatever work you are doing, less stress. I had a boss called Azim Premji in Wipro. He used to say, he was 65 or 70 by then. There was a question from the employee asking that, sir, you work for 16 18 hours a day, won't you get stressed? He said, no, overworking will never stress you. If you stress yourself, that is the reason. The reason for stress is not doing any work with passion. So if you have a passion, you'll never feel stressed, or you'll never feel bored out of your work. So we are into, as I said, we are a noble profession, one of the noble professions. We are into the job of information providing and enabling thought creativity among the people. So we are working for a great purpose. Great purpose is supplying the information for those who needs it. So giving the information to those who needs it. We don't get happy by getting 1 lakh rupee, but we get happy by looking at the happy customer. You can, if you give the information which he wants and you see the happiness in his eyes, is what the purpose we are into. And we have a job with a scope. For example, I take a reference librarianship. A user comes to me and asks for a meaning of a word. So immediately I'll ask him, go to the dictionary. If he comes and asks me for the origin of a word, I'll ask him, go to dictionary and find out there is an origin, where the word has derived from Latin or French, where it has derived from. So similar question, if somebody else comes again and asks, we don't ask them to go to some dictionary. We'll straight tell them that, look, go to the rack number 12, go to Oxford English Dictionary, you will get it under the this volume. So that makes a customer wow. So our librarian knows many things. Our librarian has understanding of many things. That's what a reference librarianship. I personally believe, with my 25 years of experience in the industry, customer will be more happier and we get more joy by doing reference librarianship. I have not seen many reference librarians in India, but worldwide, every university has a separate job called as reference librarianship. So their job is to only help users when they are in need of information. Then, and we are in a profession where we have a college, say 3,000 students are there and 100 teachers are there, only one library and only one librarian. We are a solo performers. So once you join as a librarian, next 30 years, 40 years, there is no other choice for others to come in. So we have to be really, really passionate enough to help our customers, because once if you prove that you are a wrong person, next 3, 4, 5 generations will be gone waste, because you will be working there for 30 years without any productivity. So you have to be very passionate. Then technology is there, technology supports us, but it doesn't give you insights. It is you who have a knowledgeable librarian will provide a lot of insight to the people. Technology is just an enabler for me. It is not a pure library science. It is just a allied science, and it is there to help us and reduce our burden, all that. But it never gives you insights. For example, I go to Google Translation, I type a word or I type a sentence, it will translate, but it will never translate the meaning of that. It will translate exact phrases into transliteration, but it will never actually translate. But if a man translates, he will add emotions, feelings, meanings, everything in it. So we are the ones who are providing insights. So technology is there, but that's the reason for us to be a good librarian. And the world around us is every day changing, every minute changing. and everything is becoming new, everything is getting regenerated, renewed. So we have to be, on the footsteps to take care of. And we have the skills which many doesn't have. For example, how to register a reference, what are all the contents of a report, what are all the content of a thesis, how to write a thesis, what are all the bibliographical models, methods, how to get a book, where to get a book, what are all the mains and ways you can search a book. All that skills we have, and we need to be proud of being a librarians. And ours is a niche profession. The other day I was talking, there were only, I think, 32 lakhs people, 32 million people are working as a librarians in the world, and every year 1.3 lakhs students are coming out. With that only 3 to 5%, sorry 1.2 lakhs libraries school students have come out in the last 5 years. So we are a small profession, and we have a lot of network. We have Karnataka State Library Association, we have Indian Library Association, we have scientific associations, we have academic library association, college library association, school library association, university library association. We have a great network within us, to fall back on support. So in this, I would like to briefly talk on traits of library professional. So there are great library professionals are there. I just picked up few in the space constraint. So C.A. Cutter is the 1887 to 1889. Before that, we have Anthony Panizzi, Melville Dewey, who is the founder of DDC, was born in 1851 and died in 1931. These two people are responsible for building ALA, American Library Association, one of the prolific library associations in the world today, along with IFLA. So then we have Berwick Sayers, considered to be the guru of Ranganathan, and Ranganathan went to London to train in library science in 1926-28. Berwick Sayers was his guide. Under his guidance, Ranganathan has learned basics of library and art of librarianship. So he was born in 1881 and died in 1960. Our own Dr. S.R. Ranganathan, born in 1892 and died in 1972. So traits of a library professionals: we should have a love for knowledge and learning. We should always be one step ahead than our user community, and we should keep on learning and have a lot of knowledge to support our community, and a desire to work around people, because ours is people working job. Even if you are not able to give the book what the user wants, you can give always a useful information to the people, so they will definitely recognize your efforts in doing that. And we should have a love for books and information. Wherever the new and better information is coming, a new book is coming, we should be able to know about that, and we are capable of finding out where the books are coming and where the information is being published. And we should also know the disruptive technologies. I just want to quote one example, like mobile. So before mobile came, there was a camera, there was an alarm, there was many things, there were calculator, there was a calendar. Mobile has killed at least 50 industries. 50 industries. So 50 companies or 50 products. That is a disruptive technology for us. We are depending on everything for mobile. So the screen time is something which is a new word came up. So how much time we spend looking at the mobile. So the less the screen time, the more the creative you are, is what the world says today. And we are the effective change managers, because change is imminent for us. Change is very thing. See, we have not dreamt of wearing a mask just 3-4 months back. Today, mask is part of our life. Sanitizers are part of our life. Washing frequently our hands and face, is order of the day. So that is, and librarians are good at managing the change in that. That's a great trait of a library, or a character of a library professionals. Then we should have master of all. So jack of few is what the latest quotation for the, or latest acronym for the librarians, where we should know every subject what we cater to, and we should be expertise in few subjects. We cannot be expert in all the subjects, but we should be knowing all the subjects to, or every knowledge which is being published in the world, to help us customers. And we should be strong organization skills, means we have in less resources and we do a lot of activities. We'll do a lot of organizing activity skills. As a librarian, we have the ability to juggle heavy workload. most of the times only one librarian in any institution, most of the institutions except universities and big industry organizations. So we have huge work coming onto your shoulders, and you should be we have the ability to juggle heavy workload and still cater to the customer needs. And whatever resources comes to us, whether it is a book or a reference source, we are the people who have a better evaluation techniques. Is it authorized, or is it who is publishing it, what is it, what information is there? All that information we evaluate, and we are the best users of computers. I'm working in Tumkur University. We have 20 plus departments. All the department people says, why library science uses a lot of computers? Because we are the ones who are proficient with all these things. So we should know many things. That's why we use a lot of skills. Along with that, we should be friendly. You should be a friend. You should be a philosopher. You should be a guide, brother, handholder, a teacher to those who need it. Earlier days gone, those are old days. Today, we have to be very friendly with our customers. Then only they'll come to the library and use your services, and they'll ask you better questions. Then, so these are all the edges for library profession. So I'm not getting into the details of it. So business of content provision. So we are in the business of content. So we are creators of content, we are distributors of content, and we are the collectors of content. And we have to sell our products and services, which is we have to convince your customers when it comes to, if you are able to supply or not able to supply information, you should be able to sell your thoughts to them. And knowledge of surrogates of information, sources of information, we should have a complete knowledge about where the information, where you get the information. You may be knowing, but your customers may not be knowing. So you should be knowing better to help your customer. We have a professional network, and professionals are being looked down today. Especially in college libraries and all, librarians are not being treated on par with teachers and other things. There are many reasons to it. There are administrative, cultural, and government rules. But as far as I am concerned, as a librarian, we should be having a lot of edges over all others. So whenever they have a problem, you should be the go to the kind of a person. Whenever they have anything, they should come to you and ask. That's where you can reduce this look down opportunity and gain the importance in the minds of the people. And we create a lot of value added services with a lot of value addition. So that's an edge for us. And we are tech savvy, digital savvy, and we have the support of a lot of open access resources. Today we have a lot of almost all resources on the internet are mostly free of cost for us, so that using that we can support our customers better. And we have the information today, anytime, anywhere access is enabled because of internet, and a lot of other access facilities enabled. And we have the support of something like Sci-Hub or dark open access support. Sometimes if you are not able to get the article, you'll be able to download the article from Sci-Hub, which is being developed by Alexandra Elbakyan. We can supply the articles for the lawful activities, for academic activities, for academic research, not for a profit-based research. You will not be penalized for copyright issues. Then, what are all the core competence for library professionals to be passionate? So this picture itself is, self-explanatory. If you want to be successful, if you want to grow yourself, you switch on yourself, you plug on yourself. Is what you are responsible for everything. You should get the motivations inside your own. You should be self-motivated. There is no one in the world who comes and pats onto your back, especially for us librarians. As I said, we are mostly looked down, because of many aspects. So it is us who should be able to self-motivate ourselves, and we should be completely aware of what's happening around us, what's happening in our field. Then technical knowledge and skills are very important for us, as I said earlier. So we have to support continuing education and lifelong learning, of our customers. So we should be, first of all, lifelong learning aspects. For everything we should be learning, then we will be imparting on others. So this is very interesting aspect, adaptive rowing. For example, I am going in a boat where there are two rows, where I am rowing with the help of stick. So suddenly both the sticks falls down. What do? You will not just sit in the middle of the river. You use your hands to row. So that's what adaptive rowing. So we have to adjust to the change management. We have to adjust to the whatever local conditions. We have to still be productive in what we do. that is adaptive roving. And for everything we do work, we have a lot of negatives. Basically, we have a lot of negatives, but we should come out of that and develop a positive attitude towards our work. Then only the passion comes inside. Unless you think good about yourself, who else will think about yourself? And sometimes if it is needed, we should be willing to put extra efforts, extra hours. So even you may not be paid for that, but still we should be able to put extra hours. We should be willing to put extra hours and extra efforts to get the things done. So and sometimes it is very important for you to get the clues of requirements of the people. Sometimes you have a professor who is writing a proposal for winning a project or winning a grant. So that's a clue for you where you can go and on your own you can tell him that, look, you are working on this, can I help you in this? Or you are getting repeated queries every time, so that itself indicates what service you can develop. For example, if you are getting repeated requests for document delivery, so you can start a document delivery as a service than on an ad hoc basis. Then you should show how you are different from others, whether it comes to citation styles or report writing, knowledge of technology, knowledge of computers, knowledge of information sources, better searching techniques, and many others. With all that, I may not be able to mention all that with my limited knowledge, but you should be different from others. They should always think that you are the person who can help them. So I've taken these, and questioning ability means questioning ability, or questioning is something you drilling deep into the some aspects. So for example, if you come to know a subject, immediately you should be able to understand what the subject by looking more about that subject. Is the ability for librarians, which is very important. Once you gain a knowledge, even if it is not useful today, definitely tomorrow it's going to be useful if somebody asks for that information. So these core competencies are listed by ALA, American Library Association. I have borrowed them from here. So then you should be clearly aware of yourself. SWOT analysis is something which is fabulous tool for you to, as a librarian or as an individual, to understand what is my strengths, what's my weakness, what are all the opportunities, and what are all the threats. So I always needs to increase my strengths and make sure that I use the opportunities and reduce the weaknesses and threats. Threats is something somebody looking down on us, or somebody neglecting on us, or somebody talking ill about us is a threat. To reduce that, we can develop on our strengths, core strengths. What we have discussed here can be adopted to better librarian. So you'll be automatically passionate if you do all these things. Then, so this is what passion. So how passion drills down. So it includes strong feelings, irresistible motive. So if you feel like doing something, nothing in this world should be stopping you to do that. Do that work. Anything for that matter. Then you should have a strong desire for doing that. So, and you should be intensely emotional about it. Whether somebody helps you or not, or you should love it doing that. So all these things will drill down to the passion. So it can be used interchangeably with other words like determination, conviction, or love for doing something which you really want to do. That's what the passion for us is. We have seen a lot of people passionate about their work. I just quoted one example of Dr. Abdul Kalam. Like you can quote many of them are like that. So they are very passionate. There is a one person called Richard Branson, who is the head of Virgin Industries in the world. If he thinks, he will go and get it done things. He has hundreds of businesses, different varied business. If you think, you'll make sure that you'll do it. That is what a passion. Whenever I remember a word of passion, someone like Richard Branson, or even our Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda, he himself is passionate. His passion is Deshabhakti, or patriotism. So that is also passion. So if you have a passion, the energy comes automatically, and people start respecting you. So for gaining that, and for to be a better passionate, what you should be doing that you should, if you want to be a better successful employee, successful librarian, what you should be doing that you should connect with colleagues, understand their requirements. you should go for a coffee with them or lunch with them. Not only one, all the colleagues. Sometimes you go with someone, chemistry, physics, psychology, mathematics. Then you will understand the requirements from their side. And every month you will make sure, not daily, at least one new skill or one new thing you learn. And once you have learned, you have to implement that, in your day-to-day activities, whether it is professional or it is personal. And I'm just, this is very vague, but still, if somebody praises you, keep a note of it. Somebody, if somebody sends a mail, positive mail, save it in your folder. Or if somebody praises you for your work, keep it separately. So once you are dull, you can look at those comments to regenerate or regain the energy back. And bring your hobbies into the library. For example, you have some hobby, bring it to the library. What people can, somewhere get benefited out of it. Sometimes what you enjoy doing, say stamp collection or note collection, currency collection, many things. I'm just quoting one or two. And writers, for example, you bring in the writers and conduct a writing workshop for them, so that people can get how insights on how to write. Everybody thinks, everybody has a thought, but when it comes to writing down, we are very poor in it. Many people, for that matter. So we can gain knowledge out of that. Many things you can do using this. So whenever whatever numbers you create, for example, footfall into the library, or everyday issues of the books, everyday reference querying, answering, what kind of other jobs you do, all that, you keep a statistics of that, so that you can always keep an edge from others. And be adaptable is what self-growing I was talking about. For any situation, we should be able to positively think and say, yes, I'll be able to do that, or I'll be doing that, or I'll adapt to that situation. Otherwise, somebody else will be there to take over us. So it's better, let's do it on our own. So I feel passion is more important than money, because it's a great motivator for personal happiness, internal happiness, inside happiness. Especially India has, since thousands of years has done, research in the form of adhyatma to get the inner peace and inner happiness. And you are happy more about the work you are doing, that itself make you, happy about your job. So you can relate more work and come up with better ideas. You can keep on thinking creative, so you can come out with better ideas. And so once, if you start doing, work which you like, you never feel that it is being forced upon you, but you wanted that and you have taken it that. So you don't feel working late hours, willing to go, above and beyond your limits. Sometimes if you want to achieve something with a great passion and love, you go sometimes out of your limits to, achieve that. And once, if you are passionate, no obstacle will stop you from doing that or being successful. So once you do that, you will get a sense of satisfaction inside, sense of achievement inside. So that itself is the great than money, which I feel. So I'm just very briefly talking about this, because unless you brand yourself, you will not be able to recognized in the world. So it may include, it's an identify symbol or a mark or logo, anything. Similarly, a librarian's brand is, go to him, he will help you. Go to her, the librarian will help you. That kind of a branding is what I'm thinking about. Sometimes, like, people themselves are brands, like great Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. It's a brand because Lal Bahadur Shastri in the year 1960s, when war is happening, he has given this slogan, and he has asked all Indian people to do 1 day fasting or 1 meal fasting and eat less. All that itself is a brand. Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan by great Lal Bahadur Shastri. And as I said, Richard Branson, who is the head of Virgin International, and our own Abdul Kalam, and many people around us. Even our own teachers might be branding for us. One teacher, the way he teaches Kannada, nobody else can teach Kannada. That itself is a brand, and nobody misses out his class. Then, so what are all the tips for building a personal brand? So you should have a thorough knowledge of globalization, because we are living in a globalized world, and we have to have an ability to translate our ideas into words. That's what I said. Once you want to write something, it's very difficult. Thinking and talking is very easy. For putting them in the words is very difficult. Then we should have a street smart approach, where immediately we should be able to solve the solutions with less cost and less time with more efficiency. And connecting the dots is something we have a lot of thoughts in our minds, but when we are talking or when we are writing, we are not able to bring them all together to make it as a concrete one. That's what there is a great book on connecting the dots. And be shameless seller of your ideas. Once you want to sell your ideas, you should not be shameful. You should be open. You should be shameless, so that then only you will be able to sell. That's where the passion brings you to the next level. Then whatever you do, be passionate in doing it. So have a positive attitude, eager to help and learn from others. So you should have the ability to look into the other side. That itself shows the honesty in you, the clarity in your mind. And foreign phonetics, like words we use from outside words, sometimes we may not be. We have a word called period. Period means a timeline is what we think is a British English, but in American English it is called full stop. So that's why we should have foreign language phonetics, and we should have a good research skills. Whenever we want for information, we should have a good searching and research skills. And above all, honesty is very important, and you need not to show honesty. It will be understood by others whom you are talking to. That itself is a passion. So these are all, it's a mixture of many other emotions, and these are all the things makes you passionate. Taking the responsibility, autonomy means independency for your doing. Librarians are almost all independent. Recognition for your job, so growth opportunities and professional development also happens when you are passionate. And connectedness to the leader and other colleagues, which always influences us. Motivating others as passion triggers. As I said, passion breeds passion. More loyalty employers, once they are passionate, they are more loyal to the organization. They learn a lot and they understand others a lot. So to conclude, I say passion. Do anything, any job, but do it with passion. Do it with liking. Do it with love. Otherwise, don't do it at all, because it doesn't, gives you any meaning. For example, if a politician is there, if he really wants to, genuinely wants to help people, he doesn't need to be in a power at all. He can somehow, help people. That's how, any job for that matter. If you want to do it, do it. Otherwise, don't do it with a half heart. Please do it with passion. So here, this is what I like this picture a lot, because come what may, you should not give up. And employees, or those who are passionate employees, they are more than gold in weight. So organizations will definitely, look at them, will definitely retain them. So this is the one trait, one character, one attitude, one attribute which can make both the difference between employee output, whatever you produce, and their commitment to the organization. So don't give up at any cost. So with this, I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity, GFGC Hunugun and IQSC Director Dr. Patil, and he is the coordinator of this librarian workshop. Also, though he is an English professor, he is the one who has gathered the full thoughts about this. This is a wonderful concept he has created. Librarians, silos to mainstream. So we are living in silos. We are living in isolation. We are living in separate world. So we have to come to the mainstream. Passion will bring you to the mainstream. That's what my idea is. And I am suggesting the audience to go to a lot of YouTubes are available in the in the YouTube videos. You can go learn. You can share with people. This is one of the best information source you can find. And this is one TED Talks. I'm inspired by Don Vesek, Rebecca Raven, Don Vesek again, Palm Sandlian Smith. These are all the library speakers. You have given wonderful 10 minutes, 12-minute lectures in TED Talks. I suggest if you are anytime less energetic, you please go to here. You will be able to get the complete motivation from here. And this is my email ID. This is my phone number. If any questions, if any concerns, and if any doubts you may have in this presentation, you can always come back to me. I'll be able to answer. So I thank again the organizers for giving me this opportunity to talk to my passionate subject. And I thank Dr. Patil and all the organizers for doing this. Thank you. Have a nice time.